Happy Monday. Welcome to the On Deck podcast. I'm Shannon Sommerville with a special MLB All-Star Home Run Derby edition. On today's show, I'm going to be going over all of the Home Run Derby contestants, where you might be able to find some value in the betting department. We're also going to go over the rule changes that were implemented for this year's Derby and how they could impact some of the contestants. We'll also go over some of the conditions as well at Globe Life Field. Let's start things off. But before we do, make sure if you can do me a huge favor, like this video, subscribe to the channel, comment below. I want to hear who you think is going to win this year's Derby, or maybe some other bets that you're looking at. Before we get started, though, we got to go over these rule changes for this year's Derby. Now, in years past, there was just kind of a time limit, but this year they're also implementing a pitch limit. So it'll be 40 pitches in 3 minutes in the first round, and all 8 players are all going to get a chance to hit, and the top 4 scores, the players with the 4 most home runs, are going to go to the semifinals. Now, the person with the most home runs will be going up against the person with the least home runs, and those middle 2 will be squaring off in the semifinals. Now, the semifinals and the finals round will be 2 minutes each with a 27 pitch count limit there. So that's a key factor in this one, as it'll put more emphasis on the pitchers and just pitching a really good BP to their hitter in this one. So that could impact a few different players, but I'll talk about that. Let's get into the Ballpark Dimensions. This one in Arlington, Globe Life Field, which is actually a pretty good place for home runs. It's climate controlled, so that helps things out in terms of that baseball moving through the air. It's also 600 feet above sea level, 5th most elevated park, so that bodes well for some dingers tonight. Also, this is relatively balanced dimensions. 326 to the right field corner, 329 to left, 407 to dead center. Generally a home run friendly ballpark with a slight advantage to righties. All right, let's take a look at our contestants, and then I'll tell you my picks for this year's Home Run Derby. Let's start off with our favorite, Pete Alonso. Polar Bear Pete, plus 300, 19 home runs on the year. Now, I took a look at various stats that are used for predicting home runs: ISO, exit velocity, home run distance, hard hit percentage, and barrels per plate attempt. And I ranked them according to how they rank with the 8 contestants. And Pete Alonso's power numbers haven't exactly been as consistent as they have been in years past. His ISO ranks 6 out of the 8 contestants. Max exit velocity, though, ranks 3rd, as does the average home run distance. Why Pete Alonso is the favorite? He has a ton of experience in this one, so you know his heart rate is going to be the lowest out of all the contestants in this one. He won it back in 2019 and 2021. He made it to the semifinals in 2022, and he had a bit of a poor showing in 2023. That was when he got knocked out in the first round. It really seemed like him and his pitcher just were not in sync, and that was Aaron Myers who had stepped in. It was kind of a last-minute situation because the guy who was supposed to be pitching to him got hurt, so they were a little bit off. But good news for Pete Alonso is he is back paired with the pitcher who he had when he won it in 2019 and 2021. That's former bench coach Dave Joust, who'll be throwing to him. So Pete Alonso plus 300, even though the value isn't quite as there as it is for some of the other candidates for Home Run Derby, still really good bet for the favorite Pete Alonso to win this thing, because he's paired up with Dave Joust again, and those two have insane chemistry. And this year with the rule changes and them limiting the pitches on this one, it's going to be more crucial than ever to have a really good pitcher in this one. I would say more important than any other year is this year with the pitcher, and he's probably the best there is. So Pete Alonso in a great spot for tonight. Next up is Atlanta Braves slugger Marcel Zuna, plus 380, the second best odds to win the Home Run Derby, 26 home runs. He comes in as the oldest hitter in the field, but hey, age is just a number, and so are his power numbers here. His ISO ranks 2nd among the 8 contestants. Check out that max exit velocity is 5th, but the average exit velocity 2nd, average home run distance 2nd, hard hit percentage 2nd, barrels per plate attempt percentage, that ranks 1st, and that's a great metric at predicting home runs. He also comes into this competition as the hottest hitter in the month of July, having hit 5 home runs, the most of any hitter in the Derby. The one disadvantage for Marcel Zuna, though, is this is his first ever Home Run Derby appearance, and when you're evaluating candidates for the Home Run Derby, experience is such a crucial factor, because I mean, it takes a lot out of you. It takes endurance, and you really got to kind of pace yourself and just know how to attack the home run derby, because it is such a different animal than any other competition or any other game situation. So that is my one disadvantage, even though the numbers and the underlying metrics for power are absolutely there. Marcel Zuna might have a tough time just because this is his first ever home run derby. Next is Baltimore Orioles shortstop Gunnar Henderson, another guy with just incredible power numbers this season, plus 430 to win the competition, 28 home runs. That's the most home runs of this home run derby field. Just 2 in July though, so he has slowed up a little bit over the past month. But his ISO, which is personally my favorite metric in terms of predicting home runs, he ranks first in that category of all the home run derby contestants. His max exit velocity ranks 6th, but the average exit velocity ranks first, which just shows you that he's got the power there on a consistent basis. Average home run distance ranks 4th, and that hard hit percentage, he ranks first in that category. Barrels per plate attempts ranks 4th. So the underlying metrics for Gunnar Henderson, really good value there. Plus 430 price tag, not a bad bet there as well. From one power hitting shortstop to another, Bobby Whit Jr. from the Kansas City Royals is plus 470 to win the home run derby. Just 16 home runs for him on the year, but his ISO ranks 4th. And check out some of these numbers for Bobby Whit Jr. Max exit velocity, that ranks 1st. Average exit velocity 3rd. Average home run distance ranks 1st. Hard hit percentage 3rd. Barrels per plate attempt, that ranks 2nd. So his numbers are pretty incredible in terms of predicting that success. He's had 4 home runs as well in the month of July, so heating up, the second most behind Ozuna. Also a hometown boy. He was raised just minutes from Globe Life Field in Arlington, so this is kind of a nice storyline here as well. The hometown boy returning home to claim the crown for Home Run Derby. I really like this bet here too. Good value, plus 470 as well for Bobby Whit Jr. And making an appearance for the home team, Texas Rangers, it's Adolis Garcia, plus 550 to win the Derby. 17 home runs on the year. He has been super streaky in terms of those power metrics. However, this is a guy who's an absolute gamer and loves to put on a show, so wouldn't be surprised to see him sneak into the semifinals, especially in front of that Texas Rangers crowd at a place he plays every day, and he knows the ins and outs of this particular venue. So Adolis Garcia, not a bad bet here to put on a show for the home team. Next up, Teoscar Hernandez, plus 1,200 to win the Derby. And I like kind of this long shot situation here for Teoscar Hernandez. He was with the Mariners, but this year he's seen career numbers since he's been with the Dodgers, just really revamped his career. 19 home runs, which is on pace to best his career home run mark at 32. His ISO ranks 5th out of the 8 contestants. And so some of his numbers here aren't that impressive, but Teoscar Hernandez is absolutely a guy who can rake. And look at his barrels per plate attempt percentage, ranks 3rd out of the 8 contestants. So I don't hate picking a long shot here like Teoscar Hernandez to at least make the semifinals. It's not a bad bet, especially you're getting really great value here. Next up, let's go to J-Ram, Jose Ramirez, plus 1,500. He's got 23 home runs on the year, and in the midst of his best power number year of his career, his ISO ranks 3rd. You guys know I love that ISO stat to predict home runs. Max exit velocity ranks 2nd. His other numbers aren't quite there in terms of the power numbers, but I still love his ISO. Also the fact that he's seen a surge. However, he hasn't consistently been able to churn out home runs at the pace that I think some of these other guys can. So for that reason, I think I'm out on J-Ram. But hey, let me know what you think in the comments. And lastly, with the longest odds to win the Home Run Derby, it's Philadelphia Phillies slugger Alec Bohm. Bohm only has 11 home runs on the year. That's the fewest of anyone in the Derby. And because his metrics aren't quite there in terms of that power, I'm not going to be placing any of my money on Bohm. But hey, the Home Run Derby is unpredictable and crazy. And so, hey, if you want to go there, go there. But for me, the metrics aren't quite there, so I've got to be out on him. So given all the information that I just threw at you, I like Pete Alonso to win this thing. He's got the experience, he's got the endurance, and he's paired with his old coach that he won this thing with twice. So I think he's going to win it once again tonight and make history, tying Ken Griffey Jr. for most home run derby wins. I also like Bobby Whit Jr., not a bad bet as well. He's the hometown kid coming back home to perform in front of probably a lot of friends and family on hand for this one. Plus, he's one of the hottest hitters entering this home run derby. 4 home runs in the month of July. That's second behind Marcel Zuna, so I like him as well. So for my bets, I'm putting together a ticket on Underdog Fantasy. By the way, if you don't have Underdog Fantasy, download it and use the promo code LineStar so you can get a deposit match up to $250. Plus, you'll also get 1 free month of the LineStar app. Take advantage of that deal. Use that promo code LineStar. But take a look at my ticket for tonight's home run derby on Underdog Fantasy. Just going half a unit. Hey, we're just putting a little skin in the game to have some fun with it. Bobby Whit Jr. higher than 23.5 round 1 home runs hit, plus Pete Alonso higher than 26.5 round 1 home runs hit. We've got 2 really great hitters at a very home run friendly ballpark, 5th highest elevated stadium, if you will, in the country for home runs. It's a pretty good venue for that. So I'm going with the overs in that department. If you've got any best bets you'd like to drop in the comments below, please do so. Again, if you could do me a huge favor, just like this video, subscribe to the channel, comment below. It helps the algorithm department out, so I would greatly appreciate that. Good luck in all of your betting endeavors for tonight's home run derby. I hope you enjoy the show. It should be a good one. Good luck out there. We'll see you guys tomorrow.